Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I figure why not, do my YouTube videos with Indiana Jones. That's right, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That's right, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And then the next one would be Batman. But Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where can I go with it? Where can I go? I've done it a few times, so why not? Now, after the big success of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, they felt it was too dark, they felt it was too violent, and they wanted to go a lighter route with this one. So, a couple of years later, in 1989, they decided to do this one, being Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. At the time, there was having doing an haunted castle, which I imagine would have been George Lucas's idea, but Steven Spielberg with movies that say like Poltergeist and stuff like that. I didn't want to go too dark. And they had other ideas. They decided why not do this one, Indiana Jones, I meant to say, and The Last Crusade, which, funny enough, had a few James Bond stars in it. You had the Do, who played one of the Bond villains in Future of Kill. In this, you had the main character, who, funny enough, played the villain in For Your Eyes Only, and of course you had Sean Connery as Indy's dad. So I don't like that touch, sitting it was ideas they wanted to do was a Bond film from the get-go. I also like the opening, you know what I mean? You got an opening with River Felix, may he rest in peace, as a lung indie. I also like the bit with it on the train, which is kind of like a fun ride. There, out of all the indie films, this is the one that had most cock-ups. There's a bit when he's on the train. Have you ever seen the 100 cock-up moments? You know what I mean. One moment he's on a mountain, and he's on a bus, and there's something else on the other side, and there's something else on the other side. But I kind of like that. I remember saying it before, I like it, because it gives it, it gives it a fun feel. Gives it a fun feel. And you know what I mean? So I kind of like that. So yeah, I like that. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. So I do like that, and so on. So you got the idea now that you get to see some of the characters from Raiders come back, which I do like. And then he goes on to another mission. And I also like the villain. So I like the villain because it's sort of like remind me of For Your Eyes Only. If you remember the villain in For Your Eyes Only, you think he's going to be a good guy. Then halfway through your film, you find out he's a bad guy. And that's what this sort of reminds me of. You think he's going to be a good guy, and halfway through the film, you find out he's working for the Germans, and he's a bad guy. Unlike Raiders and Temple of Doom, it's not as dark. You don't see bodies, you don't see people getting their hearts ripped out or any of that. But it does have a darkness at the end, especially what happens to the main villain. But I don't like the offensive feel, and it's one of these. It makes me cry a bit. It makes me cry a bit because they don't make films like this anymore. They don't. I'm no interest in seeing the Tistel Stool again. No interest in seeing the new one. I felt it was dud in this. I felt it was dud. I also like the dirt in it. He thinks he's going to be Indy's next Lufting-test, and long behold, it turns out she's not. Turns out that on the way, she's working for Germans. It's wondering, is she going to turn good? Is she going to turn bad? But, Gene outbeats her. It offers her death. Which I imagine for its time, it was like a soccer for people. You thought, is she going to get the dirt in this? And long behold, like the other two, he didn't. And I always loved the lines in it where Indy gets the Golden Cup. But you know what I mean? It's like laughable. You've got a knight, right? A knight who can live under this. He's been in the cave, so that cave must be stinking of piss and shit. Think about it. It must be stinking of piss and shit. But in fact, I always loved the bit with the villain tinks that up and he ages all at once, the practical effects, I would miss it, and that's the bit of horror, bit within the tomb and heads are getting cut off. But I do love the bit where he ages and the knight says, "You choose poorly." And he saves Sean Connery as Indy's dad. I was like Sean Connery. That's two of my favourite roles, apart from Bond. This has to be my next favourite role of Sean Connery's. May he rest. I always love the bit where the deed outsmarts the woman. Indy's trying to get the cup, and Sean Connery says that line, "Inda, Inda, let it go, Inda, let it go." And I always like that line. I remember saying it before when I talked about films. Let it go. And he's right, let it go. It's not worth your fucking life. So I do like that, and I do like the bit where They ride off in the sunset. I love the music. It's emotional. And it's, to me, that's how indie should have ended. I did not want into Tistel Still, nor am I going to be into the new one. I felt it ended beautiful. Up the way they all rolled off the Deptford, the beautiful sunset, everything I love in The Last Crusade, I love. I love it. You know, it has the action feel, it's domestic adventure, it's fun, has humour in it, and I do like it. I mean, I just like Sean Connery. Junior, don't call me that, Dad. That's why I called the dog Indy. You were named after a dog. So I don't like that. I mean, it felt a lot more light-hearted compared to the other two, and that's what I liked about Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. And I mean, there's a bit of fences and so on. Now, like most of the indies, there were deleted scenes. There was a bit where Indy accidentally walks onto a one tap, and he's like tarantulas walk on him, but for some reason got stabbed, and so on. So I kind of like that, and you know, I like stuff like that. I mean, I've always been a sucker for adventure films as well as action, and this one I do like. I think, in my eyes, I don't see any faults in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. No faults whatsoever. It's still a good adventure film. I can still watch it today, and to be honest, it's a lot better than some of the shit they waste money on nowadays. I still like the fact they still have that same Indiana Jones music, you know. Do, 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 do. And one bit else I like, I almost forgot, is the opening. You get, along with the theme it says in there, you get one die, sort of like a darker version of in there, and you got the idea that Indy got inspired by him. It's funny enough, this actor appeared in a lot of films in the 80s. Appeared in the fifth Friday the 13th, and he also appeared in a good film with Tom Selleck, that being An Innocent Man. So I felt the same here. I sort of felt it was going to do another Indy, to its own film, but have this actor, like a darker version of Indy, but halfway through the film, in one of the films, as I say, turn into a dud guy. Turn into a dud guy. And maybe make a film series with him in it. Because I always thought he was that interesting character, even though he's only in it at the opening, with the bits in the train, and he puts the hat on in there, and he says, and then he rides off, he says, you don't have to wait, it did. You lost the day, kid, that's it. You lost the day, kid, but it doesn't mean you have to rate it. And then he puts the hat on in there, and that's where when you got that in, you got inspired by this guy. I would have loved to seen if they made film to that actor in it. Sad to say it was never to be. But I just thought I liked his character, even though he's only in it in that brief scene. I thought I liked that character. Just the same, you only see him in that one scene. And again, you know what I mean, it's a good film. It's art's on its sleeve. And that's what I love about it. I love the action feel. I love the offensive feel. It's a good one. It's a good one. Other than that, though, people, be smart, be safe. I'll complete the 80s marathon with Batman. Into other things, other projects on the way. Into then, what the hell? A 10-star rating. Into then. See you later.